Sisters. I'm Jessica.
Elizabeth.
And we have a special guest, Jen.
Hi.
Thank you for coming and joining us. And we're just so grateful to just have you. And plus, I haven't seen you in forever, and I needed that hug so bad.
It's been way
too long. So just to kind of give, maybe our audience a little background, like we all grew up in North Bergen. So, Jen is actually the last surviving sibling out of both of your brothers.
Yes.
Just to give that gist of the conversation. And, it was definitely hard to hear about both because, I was very close to both of them,
right.
Especially Andrew, I was very Andy or Tech Nasty, whatever you want to call him.
That's on the back of the shirt.
Yes.
That my mother wears around.
I love it. Oh, and I love her. She's the sweetest, and your dad is the sweetest. And he was just, I just even hate saying was, right? And I think Liz and I, we always talk about,
all the time.
We hate saying was, and,
Me too.
because they're always around us.
Yes.
And I think even when I sent you, so just to kind of give some background, when we were coordinating this, my daughter was playing at the park, and she was just playing with this little kid's toy. And I'm like, can you just give this back? And she's like, no. And I looked at it, and it was the same red car Andy used to drive.
Yes.
And I was like, the 300, right?
Yeah,
the
300Z.
Z. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, what are the chances?
It was meant to be. He knew. He knew. I'm there.
He wanted that. Yeah, he wanted this. Yeah, I think that. I think he agreed. He definitely agreed on it. So, just to kind of, talk to the audience, tell them a little bit about yourself, and you can tell about your family and the tragedies, unfortunately, right?
Yeah. So, well, thank you for having me first. This is an incredible forum that the two of you have created, such a great community, because unfortunately we all have something. And we all grieve in some way. But so I grew up in North Bergen.
Yeah.
And I now live in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Okay.
So kind of far.
Yeah.
But
went to the sticks.
I moved to the sticks. I moved to the sticks. Mm-hmm. But it's easier to drive around there. So that's good.
Unlike North Bergen.
Oh gosh.
It's like a bubble.
I went through there yesterday, and driving through there is hard, but the memories just going down my block, or the places that Andrew and I got ice cream, or Teddy thinking he could run up the pole at the stadium, at Bruin Stadium, and flip over. He cannot do it.
Oh my gosh.
He could not do it.
Oh.
So all those memories just kind of flood back, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have 3 daughters, and Ava was only 6 months old when Andrew passed away.
Wow.
So it's
19 years.
19 years, August.
I can't. The time just goes whether we want it to or not.
I know.
But and it's so when I see like you on Facebook or like when we reach out, the way that you grieve was just so exceptional. Aww. And the way and it was just inspirational in the sense of that, like, all right, if you can get through this, I can definitely get through this. And I know in this community, we kind of have that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that sibling loss is such a special type of loss. Like me and Jess were talking about how like sibling loss is always, it's a loss where people try to gauge how close or not you are to your sibling, as if that should matter about the amount of support or empathy that you get, Oh, yeah. So I think like we cover every type of grief in this podcast, but we know the pain of like sibling loss. So it's like our heart goes out to you, Yeah. And you having to endure it twice. I can't imagine. What are some of the things that you feel maybe helped you through even the second time after like going through it the first time?
Well, I think that the first time when Andrew passed away, I don't want to say that it sounds a little strange, but I felt a little crazy. I sat up many nights, many nights, all night long, and tried to replay that night in my brain, trying to remember every single little detail.
Yeah.
Like if I remembered it, if I put it in chronological order exactly the way that it happened, it would somehow bring him back. I
Right.
don't know what I
Yeah.
thought. I just caught myself being a little crazy,
Yeah.
you know. And it was a while before I realized I am not handling this healthy. I need. Ava was only 6 months old, like I
Yeah.
said.
So it's postpartum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in shambles.
Yeah.
It wasn't until my doctor, and like I said, it was a baby, and he had said something about me being anorexic because I
Oh.
wasn't eating. Drank a lot of coffee. That's when I figured out I liked coffee.
Yeah.
But I wasn't eating, and I was like, wait, what? I'm not anorexic. Like, so it was taking this mental toll, it was taking an emotional toll, it was taking this physical toll. And when he said that, it kind of snapped me into, wait, no.
Right.
I need to handle this better. I need to handle this better for me, for my parents.
Sure.
Two of the
Oh my
strongest
God,
parents
two
on
of the
the planet.
strongest people I've ever met. My goodness.
I know. So for them, they needed me.
Yeah.
My baby daughter needed me.
Yeah.
And I needed to gain some health. So when Teddy passed away, it was a very, very different circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew my triggers, and I knew how to catch myself, and I knew how to. I teach yoga now.
Yes.
I teach yoga. I take a lot of yoga. I teach a lot of yoga and meditation. I knew what my triggers were and how to kind of cancel those thoughts and move forward.
Right.
And then community.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Especially with sibling loss. So that's why, I wanted to definitely have, Jen to come on and just to kind of keep up with our niche, because our niche is sibling loss. But I think it was important for you to have a voice too, because I feel that because it happened so long ago, not so much for Teddy, because that's more recent.
That's 6 years.
6 years. It was the same. And Sean was February. So it was like right at the same time, with the same year. It's just, there was no community like that, right? You had, it felt like it was very taboo. Like it's like very like mum's the word, like,
yeah. Yes. So after Andrew passed away, like you were saying, like there's this gauge, right? And Andrew and I were very similar people. At the time we were both police officers. We were very similar people. Spent a lot of time together, and thank goodness that my parents had community. They had, there were a lot of bereaving parent groups, but there were none for siblings. I looked everywhere. I actually found one online, and now one of my best friends in the world I met, she lost her brother, Tommy, the same summer that I lost Andrew.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so we met each other online, and so she was kind of my backup for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's when Natalie passed, her sister.
Yeah.
I reached out immediately, like, all I can say is that I'm sorry, but I'm here for you because I know what you're, and especially like when it's tragic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So she passed in a car accident.
Oh,
My sister.
So she passed, and then my brother died choking on my dad's birthday. So, and it's like we're celebrating my dad's birthday, and then I had to go and confirm his body, because my mom was down in Florida. So it was just me. Yeah. So it's just like, so it's like all three of us have, these tragedies or tragic endings with our siblings, like, and they're supposed to be with us.
Right.
Like, who's supposed to be like,
Yeah, I think that there's so much preparation for the lives of our parents or the elders in our family, where like you can kind of come to terms with, passing on as part of getting old.
Right.
It's like the circle of life, know? But when it comes to your siblings, you always think, oh, thank God I have a sibling, because that person will be here with me to, bury my parents and things like that. And it's like, oh my God, I'm an only child now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did this happen? And like, you don't really find a lot of support when it comes to siblings. I mean, honestly, I went on TikTok and I found someone by accident, a girl whose younger sister died drowning. So it was also like a very, a tragic, a thing. And there's no, we're not kind of gauging people's pain, right? Like it doesn't matter if you lost your sibling to like a long battle with cancer or a tragic thing. Like we're not gauging people's pain, but it's just like when things happen tragically, as you both know, you have no time to prepare.
None.
It's
Right.
like all of a sudden you have to like not only deal with the loss, but then also deal with planning for everything, you know, where at least if you kind of know someone is towards the end of life, you can kind of sort of get certain things in a row so that you don't have to deal with that on top of
Right.
the tragedy.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I had found like a small community on TikTok and I was kind of like documenting my grief journey. And then Jess was like, I have this idea. I've been sitting on this for a long time. I don't know if it's too soon. I think it was 4 months after Natalie passed that we started.
Oh, no, that was started. Yeah, that was, I hit you up January.
Yeah.
That was only 2 months.
Yeah.
And so she's very newly into her, like it hasn't even been a year yet.
Yeah.
So she's like, which kind of ties it in that like, you know, like Nat was, it was tragic. And then, you know, how they found out through Facebook.
Yeah.
They found it through Facebook.
Through Facebook. Somebody had posted the news article because they had passed in North Carolina and they were really big in the Navy. So it's like the Navy family found out right away. And then like, I don't know what happened, but they're not supposed to release any names.
Right.
And
For the
so,
next of kin,
yeah.
but they were each other's.
It's scary reason.
So my sister's best friend called me at work and was like, hey, are you okay? Like, I just saw something on Facebook. And I mean, it didn't go like that, but so many words. It was like, I saw something posted on Facebook and this is like a really, really bad joke. If this is like, you know, and I was like, what do you mean? I just spoke to her. I had spoke to my sister 45 minutes before the accident.
Really?
So I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't hear from her this morning. And so then we confirmed. But yeah, it was like a shock after a shock after a shock. So my sister and her husband had passed away both in the accident. Yeah. So it was just a lot.
But even Auntie, I feel like I wanted to ask you though, even with Andrew, like you see how like this was very out there, like everybody knew. Like it was like kind of shots heard around the world. It was the same with Andy.
Oh my God. How is the block for the
I mean,
my mother and I were just talking about how the funeral home kept the funeral home open an extra hour plus, and then they were like, we have to shut down because people just kept getting back online,
because
which
we couldn't believe it.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And what an honor.
Yeah,
in
because that's the impact he had.
Years of his life. It was 23.
Yeah,
you know, 23 years of his life. He made that impact.
Yeah,
which was
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I had my sister's wake at the same place.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. So I thought about it every time I go there. I'm like, you know.
Well, I've been there so many times. I know it sounds really crappy to say, but I guess my question is how did you take it? Because it was so out, like there was no, I don't feel like there was any privacy.
There's no privacy.
There was no privacy. And I feel like it was the same, right? Because especially that Andrew was a police officer. So it's like there was no privacy. How did you navigate that?
I think it actually helped.
Okay.
I think an outpouring of love.
Yeah.
Yes. There was just so much love.
Yeah.
And like I said, to see a 23-year-old have, I promise you, if I went right now, I could not in all of my extra years of life. I would not have that many people circling.
Yeah.
I mean, he just had so it was.
Well, you know, your brother was a Casanova.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Wait, she's laughing because I told her about. So at my brother's funeral, the one ex-girlfriend comes up. The next, there's two fighting in the bathroom. There's one over his casket, like, oh, I can't live without him. And I'm like, oh my God. So my dad's sitting there in the front row. He can't really see this. And I said, you would be really proud of your son right now. He goes, why? I go, you should see all the females that just came in here for him. And my dad's like, yeah. That's my son.
There were things that I learned.
Oh yeah. That goes to the grave. Yeah. Oh, us too. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think it was just so beautiful. And then Teddy and I became, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys, your family called him Teddy, but we
call him Teddy.
So I kept calling him Teddy Bear. Right. And then, you know, so he worked for the town and they're like all like that machismo and they're very like whatever. And I'm like, hey, Teddy Bear. And they're like, oh, it's Teddy Bear now. And he would always come to Lowe's to visit me. Because he was working for the town, so he needed stuff, and he would always stop by, and he's like, "Hey, Jess, how you doing?" And I'm like, "No," I'm like, "Teddy, how are you doing?" You know, because I really think that it really hit him hard.
Oh yeah, Teddy. So it did. So um, Andrew passed away in the motorcycle accident, but my brother Teddy was an alcoholic.
Mhm.
And we did fight that battle for
Yeah.
many, many years.
Yeah.
And I do think that a big part of his drinking was he blamed himself.
Yeah.
He blamed himself. So the
Yeah.
night that Andrew passed away, I was staying at my mother's
Mhm.
and my mom and dad's, and we all had dinner. And Andrew put together this toy for Ava, and then I went to the gym with his girlfriend,
Okay.
and Teddy went home, and then Andrew went over there to watch a game, and
Oh.
they were watching Fresh Prince, and they were watching a game, and Andrew ended up leaving. Teddy had to work the next day,
Yeah.
and Andrew ended up leaving, and that's when he got on the bike. So Teddy always felt like if he was like,
Just stay
dude,
home.
I'm gonna stay up, or
Yeah.
let's watch another episode, or so he
That
really
guilt ate at him.
it
I never
ate
had
at him.
Such an interesting, like, I'm so glad that we're talking about this, and thank you so much for sharing that, because
Yeah.
it's like, it just shows how like one tragedy can become another because of, I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? It's like
Yeah.
grieve out loud and grieve in a healthy way and
Yes.
find your community, you know? And I
Yes.
really wish, I'm getting emotional. I
Mhm.
really wish that Teddy would have had that.
And he did.
He
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He
It's
just
yeah.
the demons he was fighting were
Yeah.
just
Too
too
big.
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in rehab a number of times. He was
Yeah.
in detox a number of times. He had us rallying around him. We had a intervention that was incredible, and he just would repeat the same pattern
Yeah.
over and over again. And
Just probably because it's the same
typical,
story.
yeah.
The story, and then he had other stipulations happening too in his life that it's
of
like,
course,
yeah,
Yeah.
like you don't have control. So when you don't have control, you just like, well, what can I control?
right?
How much you drink, how much you
Right.
drug or whatever the case. Like this is what I can control.
I think that's why one of our episodes on triggers is so popular. Like that
Yes.
happens to be the one about social media and the one about triggers happens to be very popular. And I think it's because of that. It's like
Mhm.
people who are grieving can be so easily triggered by anything
Anything.
that's going on in their
Yes.
life. And it probably, I'm sure it didn't help with, his battle with alcoholism.
Right.
And
And he was clear. He was clear. He was an alcoholic. He would tell me that alcohol is the slowest form of suicide.
Yeah.
He was very clear
Yeah.
that what he was doing to himself.
right.
He just could not pull himself out of it.
Right.
And
Right.
no matter how many people rallied around him,
Right.
Right.
he just,
Yeah.
he's with Andrew.
Yeah.
He's
I
with
would-
Andrew now.
That's what I was just thinking when you were saying that. I
Yeah.
was like,
I
that was-
have to tell you that anytime that I think about Andy, I always, and I can hear it distinctly, even to this day, 19 years later, every time he's like, yeah. Like he always had like this like little, yeah, like with a high pitch. And I'm like, I'll never forget, like ever
Yeah.
in my life, ever forget. And then Teddy with his off color, his humor was so off color.
It was off color. He was very dry.
Very
didn't
dry.
think he was funny or know he was funny. He was just very dry.
Right.
And then like just such a serious face, and
Yeah.
you're like, wait, are you being serious though? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, I think these are the fun things. And I think you had mentioned this. So when I was kind of giving her the tour of the studio, Jen was mentioning that like they went out to New York and, they tell stories. They still keep their names alive.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important.
Oh, yes. I love those funny, rich, their personalities, they're not defined by their death.
Right.
That is not their label. We all tend to label ourselves as
Right.
mother or yoga teacher or whatever we are. And that is their last. That is their last. That is not a label of theirs.
Right.
They were such rich, free people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love to talk about them
Yeah.
and keep their names alive. And I love when I was talking to Dave and him and Freddie and everybody was sending me different pictures. I'm sending you the pictures.
Yes.
And they were sending me some pictures. So
Yeah. You have to send me the pictures so I can timestamp them.
well, I will.
I'm going to
Yeah.
timestamp some.
They're I love seeing because they're new to me.
Right.
I don't get new. We don't get new
I-
pictures.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
How we say, like, if you have pictures of our siblings, like, send them
Please.
over.
Yes.
Don't worry about triggering us.
Right.
Right.
Don't we will never get a new photo of our
Right.
siblings. sibling. There will be no new photos.
Yes.
Unless you're
Oh,
crazy
yes.
AI, like that is freaky to me. That's a little freaky.
I thought about it the other
Did
day.
you?
I thought about it. I saw like the AI where you can post a picture and it shows you hugging them. And I was like you can post a picture of you and your sibling and the AI will make you hug. And I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know if
Jen, do you want that?
I kind of want it, but then I
Yeah.
think it's going to make me cry for like a week straight.
Forever.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
right.
but it's like we can have these memories. Like imagine that we're this fast forward, damn near 20 years later, and
Yes.
we're there like advanced.
I've seen people do it with like if their parent was
Yes.
older and didn't get to meet like their child.
Yes, I've seen that
They
one.
would
That's
do like a
sweet.
grandpa and
That's
and,
sweet.
and
Mhm.
like granddaughter or something. And then I was like, oh my goodness, you could really do this with like people who have passed
Yes.
on. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I thought about it, but I'm like,
I don't know if you're ready. I think that's too
I
soon.
think it's way too soon.
You know what I wish I did have, because I do have of Teddy, voicemail messages.
You do have those.
I have Teddy.
Yeah, because we didn't have that. We had beepers. We were just coming
I
out with cell
know.
phones when with Andy, we were like the cell phones were just becoming
I was
popular.
able to save a couple voice notes from
From that.
I was saved voice notes from Natalie, and then what I did is I saved it as a voice memo
Yes.
so that it
You could-
constantly lives in your
I just can't listen to it. I have them.
yeah.
No, I
I
can't.
just have a hard time listening.
Yeah. No, I can't. That's like do you remember Tommy? Did you hear about Tall Tommy, the painter? He worked for he passed too in a car accident like 2-3 years. You know him too. He went to Lincoln School. Tall Tommy. And he passed away and he kept leaving me voice notes about my brother. And I'm like, I can't go back to this man's message ever, you know? It's just I can't. Like, and his kids were in North Bergen and I was still like a school counselor over there. So it's just
Right.
it's like a lot like I can't, but I still have those funny messages that Teddy
Yeah.
would send me on Facebook. Like they're in my Facebook message and I have yet to reopen that because it was just the same year my brother passed.
Right.
So I was just like, I can barely even deal with my brother passing, let alone now Teddy, Andrew's brother. Like what? Like I couldn't imagine what you went through.
No, yeah. With Teddy, it was, it's still, every time I think about it, it is
Yeah.
still so hard to see him, to see him kind of, he didn't choose that path,
Sure.
but there was a lot, it's been almost 6 years in October. And like I
Right.
said, and I felt for a while, like, why didn't you choose me? You know?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
didn't you choose me? Why did you, and he has daughters,
And your
like,
daughters, yeah.
why didn't you, but it wasn't about us.
Right.
It was about those demons that he was fighting. But to see him become this, he was such a vibrant person to this.
I still see the pictures. Was it your wedding or was that Teddy's wedding? That all the pictures with Andrew. Whose wedding was it? It's one of your weddings.
Teddy it was Teddy's wedding.
Because he was the best man.
He was the best man, and his speech, because he was a little drunk.
Oh my gosh. I can't imagine.
Well, that video.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious.
Oh,
It was hilarious.
Wait, so have you guys taken those videos? Because right, they're probably on VHS.
Yeah.
Have you transferred them to
No, on
CDs?
a disc or something.
Yeah. Have you transferred
I
them?
need to. That's a good
Ooh.
point. I need
You should
to.
get them digital.
Digital,
so that
yeah.
They can be downloaded like in a Dropbox and
Right,
things
right.
like that. We're always talking about like preserving.
Yeah, you have to keep
things like
updating
that.
it because like VHS, like,
That's
know,
true.
Yeah.
because
That's true.
I mean, even with my Aunt Rosie, they had for her 50th, like there was the videos and I'm like, oh God, this is so grainy.
And my mom will like save photos and videos and then we'll text it to each other so that at least like it's in our text if we have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today is my sister and brother-in-law's wedding anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been their second only.
Oh,
Wow.
We were
wow.
newlyweds,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So she like sent me a whole bunch of videos and stuff. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
no.
yeah, I think to your point about keeping their memory alive, like their personalities don't
Yeah.
leave because they aren't on this earth anymore. It's like
Right.
I'll tell you I've only really had one dream, or my sister I would say had just visited me once, and she said, "Hey, still tell our inside jokes."
Oh.
And I said to her in the dream, I said, "But you're not here." And she goes, "But they're still funny." And it was such a Natalie thing. It was such like, but it's funny, but like it's funny, like still tell the jokes.
Right.
And it's like so true. And then some of our inside jokes we've shared with friends. So like now we keep those inside jokes alive. You know what I mean? So it's like that. Keep, even if nobody gets it,
Right.
Okay.
those inside jokes that we've had with our siblings, like
They live
still think
on.
about them and talk about them and share those things, you know?
Yeah.
What advice could you give to like our listeners? I know that that's a loaded question.
Yeah,
we could be here all
Pick it
day.
apart today.
Yeah, we could be here all day on
because,
that.
you know, it's still a process. It's still a process for me too. It's a process. It's going to be a process for the rest of
Forever.
our lives.
That's right.
And that's one of the things.
Right.
Let it be.
Right.
Let it be a process.
That's it.
Don't think that there's a defining moment where you're like, oh, well,
I'm healed.
done being sad.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we unfortunately always have something to be sad about.
Mhm.
We do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we always have something to be sad about, but you don't have to do it alone
Mhm.
unless you want to.
Right.
Right. We
That's a
talk about-
choice.
We always
That's a
we
choice.
grieve differently.
Right.
So,
Right.
but you know, use your community.
Right.
Remember, it's a process. Remember, we're gonna have those breakdown moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Always have those.
Yep.
You know, I haven't had. Well, Liz has cried on the show.
Yeah.
She got. We had another guest, my husband's cousin Roseanne. She also lost her father, and then her brother, and then her father, like within like a year span. She broke down on it, and I'm like, damn, I'm still the last woman standing. Because I had an ugly cry.
I'm surprised. I'm
Yeah.
surprised because I cry all the time. Andrew's anniversary just passed,
Yeah.
and it's usually August 15th is his
Mhm.
anniversary, and it's usually the day before the
Mhm.
anniversary because those are the memories that's the time I went to the gym and I was on the phone with him and
Right.
he was trying to make me eat shrimp and
Yeah.
like I have all those last
Mhm.
memories of that, you know, that last phone call,
Yeah.
those things. So the day of, I'm usually like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Right.
But the day before, it's
Right.
hard.
It does. It's like that you're anticipating this
Yes.
grief of,
Yes.
right, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That anticipation grief, that's always like a sneaky one because like deaths, birthdays, you know, I have his birthday on my calendar.
Oh, yeah,
And
of
it's
course.
okay to recognize that those things are going to come up
Right.
and start preparing yourself and doing things that make you happy.
Mhm.
And, you know, like you're saying, breathing and yoga and like whatever helps.
Is that
you
what
get
inspired you to
through.
become a yoga teacher?
No, actually, I've always practiced yoga, but I started because I was a runner 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But after I got sick,
After you got sick, yeah.
after I got sick, I started taking my yoga journey evolved
Sure.
after that.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought that kind of like, I didn't know if that like kind of
Like
catapulted
the
you.
breathing turned into like
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Different type of grief and a different journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah.
Sure. Because now it's like you gotta take care for you, take care for your daughters, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. But I think that's our time for now. And thank you so much. Thank you. I love you. And thank you so much. And you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got
you
this.
know, and I'll, you know, I thought that this would just definitely be a great way to have remembrance for Andy and Teddy.
Absolutely.
Teddy Bear.
Absolutely. Teddy bear.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. And we always forget one. I don't know why. Find us, like, subscribe, share, comment. We want to hear your voices. We want to hear back from you guys and make sure that we're reaching out to the people who really need it. You don't have to grieve alone. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.